Multiple bish with a video. This video is about why getting a job feels impossible now. It's by Graham Stephan. Raw reaction. And I might have a lot to say on this topic, so here we go.
So you know the saying that what goes up must come down? Well, I think it also works sometimes in reverse. What goes down must also eventually come back up. And that's what brings us to this video here. From CNBC, it's titled, Why Getting a Job Feels Impossible Right Now. So with that said, I want to talk about it.
I'm reacting to a reaction to another video. Think about that. It's kind of trippy. A reaction to a reaction.
And subscribe because it helps out the channel tremendously. And as a thank you
Subscribe to my channel too. Subscribe, show my channel love too.
for doing that, I'll answer as many comments as I can. So with that said,
I'll answer all comments under this video. I'll answer every single comment.
On paper, the job market now looks solid. Unemployment hit a 54-year low at 3.4% back in January of 2023. The January jobs report also showed the 2024 labor market was off to a solid start.
here's the thing with some of this data, though. I just got to say, it's highly skewed. Like sometimes they'll say, oh, look how many jobs the economy brought in. 300,000 new jobs. You're like, wow, it's a lot of new jobs. Until you realize that, wait a second, a lot of these jobs are people taking on second jobs because they're not making enough money from the first. And
He said it, not me. He said it. He said it. He said it. Unemployment low. Unemployment is low because why? People are taking two jobs. Two, not one. Not one. Two. Because you need two to pay the bills that you got. Because everything's expensive.
And it's deceiving. So, take a lot of this with a grain of salt, and usually you have to dig a little bit deeper to get to the truth. But
that is a true saying. That is a true saying. I feel like a lot of people see a statistic and they run with it. You can't do that. You can't do that. You might gotta dig deeper, and you might gotta really think about it. Like, how are they doing these? How are they getting these statistics? Who are they surveying? Are they surveying a bunch of people in like Kansas? Are they surveying all over the United States? Are they surveying just one race and not looking at multiple races / ethnic groups? Are they mostly talking to men and they're not talking to women? You got to think about how they get these numbers, because what I am finding on statistics about the economy is that they are saying that the economy is like great right now. Based on statistics, the economy looks great. But when you go out and you ask individual people about their experience, they're going to tell you that the economy is bad. Now, what is wrong? Numbers or people? Because the numbers are one thing, but at the same time, we're all living life, and you don't live life through numbers. You don't live life through numbers. You live life through experience. And most people's experience is that the economy's not well. Feels like, they're trying to gaslight people with numbers. But the experience is that, when I go to the grocery store, I'm spending a lot of money when I shouldn't have. The experience is that, people make a median salary and they still can't afford a home. So the experience is that most people can't afford rent by themselves. A lot of people have to have roommates, stay with the parents. The experience is a lot of people are in debt. A lot of people are in debt. These are experiences, but the numbers say otherwise.
But we'll continue.
Politicians just talking about how the economy is so great. I just want to scream from the rooftop.
what I was saying.
Then how come no one can find a job?
Recently, unemployed full-time workers applied to an average of 30 jobs, only to receive an average of 4 callbacks or responses.
Yeah, the issue right now is that not a lot of companies are hiring. And I know we're creating a lot of jobs, but they're in an environment right now where interest rates are expensive. It's going to cost the company a lot of money to expand. And they're taking it on from the viewpoint of just being a bit more conservative, keeping on to the people that they have, not spending more money than they absolutely need to. And that's translating into fewer jobs. Like a lot of tech companies overhired a ton in 2020, 2021, and in 2022, things started to putter out. And then now you're seeing all these mass layoffs from some of the biggest companies out there because they've overhired. Their expenses are too high, they're taking a hit, and they're cutting back.
Are companies dishing out high-paying salaries in line with the, economy, in line with, inflation, in line with the rising cost of living? I don't think so. Just off of, personal experiences, off of, people I've talked to in my life, salaries don't align with cost of living. They don't. And I think a lot of companies are not dishing out high-paying jobs. They might be dishing out jobs, but not high-paying ones.
This job market is like the craziest that I have ever seen. I was frustrated just with how my job search process has.
That TikTok is actually really funny. Just, how's the job search going? And she just collapsed in the snow.
That's the thing now. It's making TikToks about you not finding a job, you getting fired, you not liking your job. These things are just going viral. And I get it. Obviously, there's a lot of frustration that people are just latching onto. But I've seen so many videos of what appears to be Gen Z in a parking lot outside of their place of employment, and them just saying, it's horrible. And the cost of living is rising, my pay sucks, and, this shouldn't have to be like this. And then those videos are getting millions by millions of views. I wonder if those people could capitalize on all the momentum that they're getting.
Social media, I think, can skew a lot of things. If you like a video about someone losing their job, you're gonna get a bunch of other videos about other people losing their jobs. And then you're gonna swing into the side of TikTok where it's like, oh my God, I hate my job, or oh, I'm tired of capitalism, or oh, I don't want to work a 9 to 5, or you just get in this wormhole of people that are, have this negative view on the current working situation in the world, in the US. So it's there's the truth of it's not easy to find work. It's not easy to find high paying work, and it's not easy to survive making a median salary. But then you have the other side of the token where you can't just think all negative. There's not always all negative. There's people out here, making things work out. Now, it's not a great amount, but yeah, you just have to be careful with that kind of thing about what you're consuming, because when you consume a bunch of negativity, you believe a bunch of negativity. And that's the point I'm really touching on. Not to say that this is not the reality for people, but what I'm saying is just pay attention to what you consume. Because you might not have that point of view, you're just absorbing it. That might not even be your situation, but you're absorbing that information, so you turn it into your situation.
The thing is, though, if a future employer sees that, is that a red flag? Would you hire someone who goes on TikTok complaining about their job at their next job? You'd always wonder about that in the back of your mind, of okay, is this person I hire going to talk about me as well?
Yeah, he touches on a good point. It's similar to my point where I feel like you're implementing a negative cycle, a negative feedback loop, where it's yeah, speak your truth, but be mindful that other companies, if you're looking to work, in a specific field, other companies are going to might watch what you post and be like, oh, they don't like the vibe, you know? So it's tricky. It's a balance.
It kind of goes both ways.
55% of unemployed adults said they were burnt out from searching for a new job. Younger generations were impacted the most, with 66% complaining of burnout stemming from job search.
I'd also be curious about job expectations. If maybe they're aiming too high, or they've just graduated and they're looking for, too prestigious of a career, just starting out. I don't.
They're applying to entry-level positions most likely, and they're not getting it. You know why they're not getting it? These entry-level experiences are looking for experienced people. And when you graduate college, you're not experienced. That's the situation. That's the challenge. You kind of have to make yourself look like you're experienced when you're not. And it makes it even worse if you never had an internship too. If you're trying to get into, a role, you don't have any experience. You never even had an internship, and they're not even going to look at your resume. So no, I don't think they're applying to jobs that, shouldn't be obtainable for them. I just think these jobs are making entry level unobtainable for a college graduate. Simple as that.
I don't know. I've not been in the job market practically ever. Almost everything that I've done has somehow just organically happened and not really looked for it per se.
Yeah, so he's basically saying that he can't really speak on this because he's not experienced in it. That's basically what he's saying, and that's why his point of view is a bit skewed. I don't think it's accurate based on, a college graduate searching for a job.
So I don't know. I would love for you guys to chime in if it is
I chimed in, Graham. I chimed in.
An expectation thing, or if it's you're holding out for a career that you think pays more, is a better fit. I'm just curious what it is.
If you just applied to a job through a job board, the odds of you getting hired were about 3%. So you got to apply to a lot of different jobs in order to have a chance to get.
The odds of you getting hired is 3%. That's actually wild. 3%? That's almost like, it's going to take you so long to find a job if the odds are 3%.
See, sometimes I wonder, instead of just applying for a job and seeing who picks you, what if you go and specifically apply to the jobs at places that you want to work?
You don't think people are doing that? You don't think they're applying to jobs they want to work at? I think it turns into you aimlessly applying to jobs just because is that there's a 3% chance you're going to be hired at the place you want to work. There's a 3% chance you're going to get hired at the place you want to work. So you kind of have to aimlessly apply to stuff, you got to throw darts and see what sticks, you can't. When the odds are stacked against you, you can't just pick out what you want. You know what I mean? It's that's not realistic.
So let's just say hypothetically, you're really into, I don't know, I'm throwing out careers out there. Accounting. You're really into accounting. That's your thing. Instead of going and posting a job opening and saying, hey guys, I'm an accountant, come hire me. What if you approach the businesses that you love and you say, hey, I just want to work for you. I'll do anything to get my foot in the door. Let me know. And that way you aren't necessarily competing with all these other people, but you're putting your foot in the door and you're at least making yourself known that hey, if you need someone like me, I'm willing to work. I'm willing to put my neck out there. I'm willing to give it what it takes. And, if they have something come up, I think they would be much more likely to look at that individual than say, oh, we have this person here who's been hounding us for a while, but let's place a job search and they could just apply. Again, this might be a kind of crazy way of thinking, but I believe approaching specific companies might yield a better result.
Yeah, that could be true. Approaching it that way. But you might not get any response. You might get ghosted. I don't think people are not doing this.
Yeah, remember when McDonald's was paying people to interview? I think it was like $50 or $200 or like $100 just to apply, just to sit there for an interview because they were so desperate to find workers. But yeah, it goes to show you the tables always turn. It's always going to be, one side or the other, and then things balance out. So the good times usually aren't going to last forever.
My worst experience.
So I think I'm gonna stop the video here. He makes a good point where, we might bounce back from this because what goes up must come down and what goes down must come up. It's the cycle of life. And yeah, things tend to balance out. I think there's a lot of truth there. But yeah, hopefully things do get easier in the long term. But right now, the job market isn't the greatest experience right now. But yeah, that's it. If you like what I'm talking about, if you want to see more like financial content or me reacting to like these financial type videos, let me know. I like talking about this stuff. Let me know if you want to see more stuff. And that's it. Moful Bitch out. Peace out, Girl Scout.